Having visited China 46 times over 20 years, he says he has witnessed the remarkable achievements of China's modernization.
China is a strong country.
He admires how China has preserved its cultural heritage and values while achieving rapid development.
China is a living civilization. You can feel the old China even in the fancy buildings. You can feel that. You can feel there is civilization behind all that.
He believes China's ideas and initiatives will bring hope and light to the world.
You cannot imagine how much in the world depend on China as a peaceful power and they make balance.
Exclusive interview on Leaders Talk with former Prime Minister of Egypt, Essam Sharaf.
Hello and welcome to Leaders Talk, where we meet leaders, thinkers, and trailblazers. I'm He Yanke. Our guest today is Essam Sharaf, the former Prime Minister of Egypt, recipient of the Outstanding Achievement Award at the inaugural Orchid Awards, and ambassador of He culture. For years, he has dedicated himself to fostering dialogue between China and Egypt. With 2 decades of in-depth research on China, how does he view the country's development and a unique path to modernization? And in this new era, how can these 2 Asian civilizations, China and Egypt, deepen their cooperation and strengthen people-to-people connections? Let's find all these answers in our conversation with Professor Sharaf. Welcome back to China again, Professor Sharaf.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on Leaders Talk.
Thank you very much.
We're all curious about how many times have you visited China?
This visit is number 46.
Number 46. That's a lot.
And my first visit was in 2005 when I was Minister of Transport.
Mm-hmm. During your time as Minister of Transportation and Prime Minister, you organized over 50 events about China. So what sparked that deep interest about China? How have your visits to China shaped your perspective?
Yeah, because although we visited some places, I met different officials, and of course we saw people. China now is much more advanced than in 2005, but you can feel that there is something going on. China is a strong country and ready always to assist others. So China is ready for competition and ready for cooperation. They have very, very deep civilization, very advanced civilization, if I may say, and with a set of values that really controls a lot of China's activities. China's modernization, it's based on a set of basic values, and that's what makes China different, actually.
What do you love the country most?
I can see that balance between the super development and the culture. I always say that China is a living civilization. You can feel the old China even in the fancy buildings. You can feel that. You can feel there is civilization behind all that. As I said, of course, the development and whether in transportation or other areas, this is amazing. But also I can feel the level of satisfaction of people, ordinary people. And this is very important. Again, it's a balance between being strong technologically and in science and economically and people. And that, of course, goes to the political system here where the social justice is a key. Again, I couldn't see that in a lot of countries that the countries advance and people are actually, getting around some idea, basic idea that this is our country.
Obviously, you understand China very well. And as a regular guest at the Understanding China conference, how will you communicate your understanding of China to those people who may know not much about China, or even those who might have misconceptions about China?
China is being subjected to kind of media war and misinformation around. And this is very important to clarify the real China. I have a lot of like media events and lectures, presentations, and I concentrate on this part. Everybody knows there that I'm actually, even in the West, my friends in the West, you know that I'm following China, and I'm very proud of that. To tell you the truth, when I tell some in the beginning, after that I finish, I feel people say, "Wow, we didn't know that." It was just set of slides, presentation.
Since the beginning of the new era, China has shared mutual benefits with the world, and its achievements are evident for all to see. Understanding China has become a topic of continuous global interest. The Understanding China International Conference was held in Guangzhou from December 2nd to the 4th, 2024. More than 600 guests from China and abroad, including former Egyptian Prime Minister Essam Sharaf, gathered to discuss the theme, Carry Through the Reform to the End, Chinese Modernization and New Opportunities for World Development, Fostering Consensus.
In recent President Xi's letter to 2024 Understanding China Conference, he said that to understand China, one needs to understand China's efforts to further deepen reform comprehensively to advance Chinese modernization. So how do you understand his message?
When you follow the progress of China, it always comes through what I call it a strong inside. People, are actually development, high quality development. But how come high quality development comes? It comes from reforms. And now China is opening up, yes, since 1978, but now actually China is opening up. China, for a lot of people, you cannot imagine how much in the world depend on China as a peaceful power and they make balance. Reform now is a strategic selection. Reform is the driving force for development and for actually putting China in the right position in the global landscape. So it's very important. We have to go to the end. The end for me, this dream of having a community of a shared future, where actually everybody enjoys prosperity, is not scared from somebody will bump them, is not, suffering from difference. So it's just the meaning of prosperity.
Well, you have observed China's modernization journey up close. How will you summarize the Chinese modernization?
China modernization is deeply rooted in the China civilization, human values. See, I'm saying that because I'm very proud to be selected as cultural ambassador for Hakka culture. And when you look at the old civilizations, Chinese civilization is based on harmony, peace, cooperation, prosperity. China is a huge country full of diversity in geography, in environment, and also in ethnic groups, 56 ethnic groups. And they are living peacefully because the modernization is actually have impact on all. So when you look at that, people are connected. Then there was harmony between them, and that led to a peaceful environment and development. I believe that people are enjoying now a very high level prosperity. So that's why so the values are the main input to, among other things, but the main input to the modernization process. The same modernization values were transferred to the world through the global initiatives.
What impacts had it on global economic and political dynamics, especially for the global South?
At least I can say there'll never be a country that has such positive impact on a group of countries. I believe that the future now is for global south. And when you look at the number of job opportunities resulting from the Chinese projects, and I believe above all that is that sort of developing countries, which they know that they are not in a high position in the world as a whole, they started to trust themselves. We see a developing country with 80% or more poor people that now became second economy and first trader and first manufacturer. Each developing country now thinks, why not? We can imitate China.
You're an expert on transportation engineering, and you have published over 100 papers on this subject. I imagine that you paid close attention to China's transportation advancements, particularly for its high-speed railway. So how would you evaluate the overall of the development of China's transportation system?
The transportation and development are two sides of one coin. Imagine that you have amount of gold. If you cannot connect with it, it's nothing. So transportation makes added value. And of course, with this vast area of China, they are connected. And this is very important for people to trust. So that's why the transportation system is very vital for economic development. For a country like China, is even more important because it's huge and has different ethnic groups. So to let everybody feel belonging, we have to connect.
Actually, President Xi Jinping has said that self-reliance in science and technology is the foundation of national prosperity and the key to national security. We all know that you have been a passionate advocate for advancing science in the Arab world, when saying countries do not move forward except with scientific research. So how do you view China's achievements in technology and science?
You have frog leaps, jumps to be able. That's what happened in China. Nobody can imagine even 20 years ago or 10 years ago that level of China unless the innovation and science and technology played a vital role. And always it says science, technology, and economy. This is what really moves the country. Innovation is a core element of Chinese modernization.
You are also a scholar who conducted in-depth research on the Belt and Road Initiative proposed by China. So how would you assess the effectiveness of BRI in contributing to Egypt's transformation? And is there any moment that you felt the BRI made meaningful difference, either in Egypt or beyond?
In Egypt particularly, we have these vast projects. We have job opportunity creation, and we have a fantastic development in the administrative capital and also other cities on the Mediterranean Sea. Because I'm a university professor, friends from other universities, they say always we have contact with China, we have relations, we have established a lab in certain area and things like that. This is the I believe what will make China different is to help people, not to give them, as they say, don't give me the fish, give me the hook to fish the fish. Okay, so I believe China, if help people in their upgrading their technologies and innovation and things like that, it's doing now. But I believe with time things will improve. BRI is the largest international cooperation platform. When I give lectures in the beginning, the people think it's a belt and it's a road. There's transportation, road, maritime, and inland transportation rail. But this is not the story of BRI. Belt and Road Initiative is for connectivity. hard connectivity and soft connectivity. It includes a part of it is people-to-people connectivity. 10 years ago, I feel very upset because people, they have wrong idea about China. They don't know, or at least they are ignorant about what's China. So with this people-to-people connectivity and cultural activities and mutual learning, a lot of people started to change. The image has been changed, especially as I repeat, under the misinformation and media war that guided by other countries against China. Through the Belt and Road initiatives, I believe we benefited economically, we benefited also culturally. China became a good example because it's advanced and also ready to communicate with the world, to cooperate with the world.
Essam Sharaf is a well-known Egyptian political figure and scholar. His first visit to China 20 years ago marked the beginning of his deep connection with the country. He has visited nearly 20 Chinese provinces. He loves Chinese culture and extensively studied China's modernization process, received the inaugural Orchid Awards for Outstanding Achievement, and was selected as Cultural Ambassador for the promotion of He culture.
2024 marks the 10th anniversary of the establishment of comprehensive strategic partnership between China and Egypt. Looking back, how do you see the partnership evolving? What shared values between the two countries stand out to you?
Relations with China and Egypt is very old, since the old Silk Road, through the maritime Silk Road, and Egypt played a very important role in this area for the trade coming from the east to west and to the area in the Middle East at that time. Egypt was the first Arabic and African country to establish diplomatic relations with China. And then always through the time, there was some kind of very close relations. But what are the values? Both countries are peaceful countries. So this is the value of peace. And of course, both of them shared a very old and very effective civilization. I used to say that Chinese civilization and Egyptian civilization, they have a good part of the book of history, so all values of those magnificent civilizations are they still exist, and we deal on that basis. The Chinese stance in a lot of most of situation actually is same like Egypt. So yeah, and we are very proud of that.
Professor Sharaf, I'd like to show you a video. This is the Shanghai Museum. It showcased over 780 ancient Egyptian artifacts. The exhibition's popularity has been astonishing, with over 1.3 million tickets sold in 5 months. And the first batch of 200,000 tickets was sold out in mere seconds. Related posts went viral on the internet. And also, I actually noticed that Egypt's tourism sector is witnessing a huge growth, that 65% increase in Chinese visitors to Egypt in 2024. So how do you see the role of cultural exchanges program in enhancing the mutual understanding and respect between China and Egypt?
So actually, whenever I go or wherever I go, people, even Chinese in universities and things, ask, when you're going to open the Grand Museum in Egypt? Will have official opening, and everybody asking that. And this is in Shanghai also, people visiting. When people see old civilization here, and they can feel the similarities in a lot of things, that's actually change the image that we are the same. We are from the same roots. So that exchange, the cultural exchange and mutual learning, this is a very good example of it.
Any projects or initiatives we like to propose in the future to further strengthen the people-to-people ties?
I feel like more and more people-to-people connectivity activities, and that happened in 3 levels actually. In education, you have to teach students, especially in schools, and it happens in the media and also in the arts, like music, like theater, like opera. These 3 together can actually help a lot on cultural exchanges and mutual learning.
In 2023, you received the Orchid Award,
Okay.
which is for people who made great contribution to mutual understanding and mutual learning between China and foreign countries. So what does the recognition mean to you?
Really, I was very proud of that because, first of all, it was the first year of this award, and I received this award based on my efforts with China and working together to tell the people more about China. Although I'm engineer, but I believe in culture. I believe in soft power, and that's why I was very proud of this award. This award is very special for me.
And at the inaugural ceremony, you mentioned some values such as connectivity, trust, peace, and development as building blocks for a community with a shared future. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said a few minutes ago, that to have a future, a community of a shared future, you have people to feel connected, feel trust, feel peace, and feel development. So these are the building blocks. How we build that is through working together to build a future with a shared future. How to do that? Let us try to use the global initiatives by China, GCI, GSI, GDI. So these are actually the building blocks. Imagine that the future of shared future is a wall. These are the blocks that you can, without them, it's very difficult to reach this kind of future.
And for those curious about China, what kind of books, literature, or TV film works would you like to recommend to them to help them understand the country better?
Of course, there is a lot of books, but I have all versions of President Xi books of the governance. And in all the versions, when they launched the version in Arabic language, for example, in Egypt, I attend and give some quick review. President Xi is a very faithful citizen, very wise person, and very clever politician. You can feel that, and also through his statements and speeches, you can feel what China is, especially the basic themes of China modernization, about the people in the center, about harmony between people and nature, about the role of CPC. All these actually are explained.
So how do you see President Xi Jinping's initiatives, the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, the Global Civilization Initiative, contributing to the vision of the better world?
We are at crossroads. We have to select the first part, the bad part on this list. We are going to self-destruction. The other side is actually to have instead of global destruction, you have to global prosperity. And that's embedded in all global initiatives. Global Civilization Initiative is for harmonizing diversities and cultural exchange and mutual learning. Global Security Initiative for peace. Global Development Initiative is a roadmap for development. So everything is rooted in the values of the Chinese civilization. If we look for global prosperity, then we have to go to a community of a shared future. A community of a shared future is really, because it's not just a slogan. It's a huge idea. It's a very deep idea. Once you believe that we are one humanity, so we share the future, then actually we will compete, but we'll cooperate also.
As the Chinese New Year or Spring Festival approaches, would you like to send your wishes to Chinese people?
Happy New Year, first. Second, I would like to tell you that you have to be very proud that you are citizens of this country. You have to work on always believing that being what I call it strong internally, you are one society and with a great leadership. So you have always to be proud and work was to keep China as a leading country as it is now.
Oh, thank you so much, Professor.
谢谢。
During the interview, Professor Sharaf emphasized that China's modernization holds immense global significance. He noted that China's initiatives, the Belt and Road Initiative, the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative have fostered great connectivity, mutual trust, and development among different civilizations, offering hope for the creation of a peaceful international landscape. That's it for this edition of Leaders Talk. I'm He Yanke in Guangzhou. See you next time.